What's up? Welcome to the Good But Not Soft podcast. This is our first ever episode, so I'm going to go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Josh. I'm currently a volunteer firefighter and have to work for a living. I'm going to turn it over to this guy and let him tell you something about him.
Ronald, nice to meet y'all. I am an English teacher at a public high school.
Really ironic because he messes up on English a lot.
This be the truth. I am not as English-y as I should be. I'm actually a first-generation American. Mom's from Haiti. Born and raised in Florida, though. Woo, woo. But I'm out here in Oklahoma with these guys.
We saved him from that life.
Yeah.
My name's Benjamin. I serve 3 years, volunteer firefighter, working EMS. I'm an EMT.
But let's go ahead and talk about how we got started and how the name came about. And so for that, I'm going to turn it over to the brains, which is Ben right over here. And he's going to tell you exactly where that name came from.
So the name Good But Not Soft came from me reading The Warrior Poet Way. We all have been reading it, and I was the first one to finish it and told them, like, y'all need to read this book. And
Good stuff.
he, multiple times throughout the book, talks about being good but not soft, and by that he means, like, you need to be a good man, but being a good man doesn't mean you're a weak man, you're incapable of protecting people, but like, a good man is capable of being compassionate and loving to his family, is able to provide, he's able to be a good man, self-sufficient, he's, can take care of what needs to be done, but he's not a weak man. Just because, you're compassionate doesn't mean you're weak.
You want to be trustworthy, not docile. And you want to be a killer, not a murderer, a leader, not a bully, is basically what we're going for in the Good But Not Soft.
So we basically, I was like, we should start a podcast. Like, we have all these great conversations. We all love podcasts. And the idea is just, it's going to be a mix of comedy and just being goofy. And then, there might, every now and then there'll be goofiness. And then the next moment, it might be super serious. Like,
Yeah.
And
like now.
So, it's just kind of, we want to be entertaining, but like also kind of educational. We love stories and history and stuff. So I'm sure there'll be lots of that. And who knows?
Say our daily conversations will range anywhere from politics to video games, and then we'll drop in with some little known history, and we enjoy blowing his mind with things like that are just so unheard of to him.
I teach at a public school, as I mentioned before, but I also went through a public school, and so history was
we're both
not
homeschooled.
Yeah. You probably,
Not the awkward we're awkward.
Yeah.
But not the like stereotypical homeschool.
Just a little bit awkward. But I went through public school myself, and I tell you, history was not my favorite topic at all. I think I had the most boring history teachers history has ever known. And so I felt like I missed out on a lot of my history, or just history in general. And so when I hear these guys chat about something that happened 100 or 200 years ago or 10 years ago, I'm like, wow, this is all new to me. And so I'm excited about this podcast. It's
that was
good.
Growing up,
but not soft.
My mom would joke about, like, whatever my interests were was what we'd call, call like a school project. So like, I do an experiment with making a homemade EMP for...
I don't think we can say that on YouTube.
Yes, we can. I found out about this on YouTube.
We made a homemade taser with
a coil of wire.
Yeah.
To disable locks. And so
electronic locks.
I built one of these, and my mom said it was, a science project, and that was kind of the joke. Like, we do all kinds of stuff, and it'd be a quote unquote science project or such and such a school project.
We
And-
live on a small farm, so we joke around about, we should get credits for, ag and stuff like that.
I really like the flexibility of homeschoolers because I think you're more capable and able to, like you said, do a science project on something you like as opposed to, hey, whether you like this or not, everyone in this class is going to do it. And this is a class full of 20, 30 people at times. And you might have one kid who wants to dissect a frog and the other one wants to learn about hydrogen bonds. I don't know. Whatever.
So you got this kid over here
it's
who
awesome.
is like, go in and be like,
And
oh,
these
yeah,
two
this
guys
is-
are nerds. Like, they know their stuff.
Nerds in very different aspects, though.
Good nerds.
Lots of different things. He's way smarter than I am.
I am stuck in between.
We got to do an episode of you talking about
Gravity.
no, not gravity. It's about the bullet and
Infinity? Oh,
and
my bullet idea. That is a lot
Yeah.
to dive into. No,
We'll get there.
I range between the super techie guy to wanting to live out in the mountains alone. I am torn between those two positions. So I have all kinds of random bits of knowledge, I guess we can say, ranging anywhere from starting a fire, from materials I find on the ground to programming radios. I am a ham radio operator. And so
Nerd.
I may be a dork, but at least I'm a cute dork.
And
he
I
is
mean,
getting married, so that statement is backed by
one person.
at least one
No,
person.
Mom says I'm cute too.
They
There you go.
also are brothers.
Yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
I am not a brother of these. I'm more like an uncle.
No.
Okay, we're
You
still
don't
working.
fit into the-
We're still working on that. You're closer to my age than than you are to my uncle.
Yeah, I'm in this weird. We have to do a family episode one of these days and just talk about family
Yeah.
stuff.
All of it. I'll say we adopted Ronald. It depends on the day. Sometimes my mom says sometimes he's like one of her kids and sometimes he's like a sibling.
Yeah,
It just depends on what's going on.
I'm flexible.
It's
Coming
kind of like
from,
whenever, I was younger, my mom, I was either an adult or a kid or grown up or a kid based on whether or not I needed to take out the trash or go to bed early. If I had to go to bed early, it's because I
Yeah.
was still a kid. If I had to take out the trash or mow the lawn, it's because, I was grown up. It's
So,
like,
we're, rednecks, living on a farm, and he's from Florida. And so
Miami, born and raised.
So it's like, hey, Ron, you go cut down that tree. He'd have no idea how to do it. And just like stuff that's like so natural to us, he has no idea what he's going for. And so sometimes, he is the college master. College master's degree graduate. And sometimes it's like, wow, how do you not know that? Like,
Yeah. This is embarrassing. But the other day, I was talking to my wife Joanna, and same color skin as these guys. And
I feel like that was
and we were talking about raw milk and milk. Then we started talking about butter and talking about grass-fed butter. And I thought, and she somehow we got in conversation, and she mentioned that, oh, this is what happened. So I made us some homemade ice cream, and I used some like low homogenized milk and whatnot. And so she talked about how the ice cream was pretty pasty. And I was like, oh yeah, I noticed that also. And she was like, if it kept going, it probably would have turned to butter. And I was like, no way. And she was like, yeah, did you not know butter comes from milk? And I was like,
specifically cream. Comes
yeah,
from
the
cream
cream.
in milk.
Yeah, she mentioned that.
say
And I was like, no.
We made our own
Back
butter
whenever
for a
we were
long
milking,
time. And whipped
milking
topping.
our cows, we'd make
Oh, wow.
butter. And
Nice.
if he didn't steal the cream, because he would steal
Cream?
the cream and use it in his cereal.
Fresh cream
Wow.
is incredible on cereal.
Wow.
It's super
It's-
thick, but it's just so sweet and rich and flavorful. It's amazing.
Mhm.
But yeah, we used to make our own butter all the time.
Yeah, so now I know that butter comes from milk or the cream. And it's like,
I mean, yeah, it comes from the milk, and then
Us-
what
like-
you do is you separate the two, and then
Like, you know, we can
See.
be like, yeah, cheese. They make cheese by putting mold in it, and it'd be like,
Yeah, it's
they
true.
use mold. Like,
technically true. Not what you would normally picture of mold, though. But yes. So,
Well, we're excited for this podcast. I think we have many days ahead. It's just
Yeah.
February, good but not soft, and so be looking
how many
out
times do you
for
work that into this podcast?
as many times as I can.
I'll,
Cha-ching.
I'll tell you what, we can work it out where every time one of us says good, another one is gonna be, but not soft.
Yeah, just whisper that in there. Well, stay tuned.
Yeah, there's lots more to come. This built this whole podcast setup, not the most high end equipment, but built it all to be mobile. So we will probably be doing some podcasts at different locations. We have several camps coming up. Beautiful location. If it'll all work out, I have a great spot. I have a great spot picked out where we're gonna film. It's gonna be we're gonna be with our backs to a lake with a big mountain behind us.
Nice.
It's gonna look beautiful.
Nice.
If that doesn't work out, then we'll be in a nice amphitheater down in the mountains.
Nice.
So
Oh yeah.
it's there's lots more content to be coming. We're currently in February. I'm not sure when we're gonna be pushing out this first episode. We're gonna try to drop a couple right at the beginning to give everybody lots of content to be watching. I'm guessing it's probably gonna be end of March before we really start dropping stuff, unless we just get on the ball
Yeah.
and just get it all done before then. But he will be out of town, so it'll probably be end of March.
As I said, I do have to work for a living. Preparing to be married apparently is no easy financial task. So I am currently
it's
chasing the
not.
money.
It's not.
I work for a living. Also, I'm an English teacher. My wife.
So you don't work
And
for a
get-
living.
Depending on how you look at it. Yeah. So do what you got to do.
Yep. I tell him all the time that it's cheaper to be single. Although I've
It's
seen
not
how he's
cheaper to be
I've seen how he
single.
spends money because she's controlling of his money, or tries to be. It doesn't work that often, but she tries to tell him that he shouldn't buy stuff, and sometimes he listens.
Sometimes. I at least postpone it.
Yeah, until she doesn't know about it.
I mean, it's just, instead of making 2 big purchases the same day, we might make it, 2 big purchases in a week. Like,
Yes. Yeah, I'm the only one here that's single, so there's that.
he doesn't know what he doesn't know.
I don't know.
He's got
I
no
can't-
life experience almost.
Something like that.
I don't even know what to say.
Ron's like,
All right.
Yeah.
Tell us
Ron's-
about your first year of marriage.
Yeah, that'll be something.
Ronald just had his first kid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Beautiful baby girl.
She is.
Ava, middle name Isabella, and we're just her name actually, Ava means life, Isabella means devoted to God, so we put that together. It means life devoted to God. And so we're happy. Last week, get this, guys, last week Joanna got her to do her first giggle.
Her first giggle.
Yeah. It's like things you never
She
thought
is-
you would be proud of as a man. It was like, she's growing, she's healthy, and
Wasn't
she's giggling.
Wasn't it like, a week after she was born that you thought she had said dada?
Yeah, false alarm. But
False alarm.
but hey, she is of my genes and offspring, so I expect her to start talking the next few days. She was born
The next few days.
she was born on the 13th of January. It's the 24th of February. She's a month and what?
Do the
Can't
math.
do the math.
11 days.
No,
She's
you want
11 days.
depending on who she takes her
So-
personality after, you want her to wait as long as possible because if she's anything like you, she won't stop.
Yeah, that's
There will be
actually.
no flying around your house
If she has
anymore.
Joe's personality in it, is,
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
actually. Yeah, I'm an extrovert.
introverted, then
Joanna
she
is
may
an
be a little
introvert.
quieter. But
Yeah,
if you get a really extroverted kid, when
And
she
they-
starts talking, gets old enough,
yeah, and they say girls ask a lot more questions than guys.
because guys are just like, I wonder what this does.
and
then do it.
That's actually bad.
What happens if you put a finger in the light switch in the outlet?
Never did that one. Never did that one.
Yeah.
I may have. I just don't have the brain cells to remember.
You lost them.
I lost.
I
a lot
mean,
of brain
at
cells.
least you didn't get attacked by your older sibling with irons all the time.
Irons. Give me
I
a
am a
break.
firstborn. I think I felt like that was probably worth mentioning. He's a firstborn. He's a secondborn.
So any power struggle that might come with this podcast will be right here.
Yeah,
We all know that I'm the one
because
who's really in charge behind this. I got the big brain. These guys just think
Yeah.
they're in charge.
yeah. I mean, actually, talk about power struggle. Ben, the creator and brains behind this podcast, he mentioned it before the book and the phrase that kind of got the ball rolling there. He was just chatting about how he wanted this podcast to go. And I started to give my suggestions. He was like, no, I think we should do this. And then I told myself, this is not your podcast, Ron.
It is your podcast.
We are exactly.
Your co-host.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
that warms
wow.
my heart. All right. Well, now I feel like I can say more things.
All right, new set. Next episode.
Man, I will let you make whatever changes you want to the set and to the recording
that.
stuff as long as you
Look
fund
at
it.
that. Okay, there's a hurdle right there. English teacher, guys.
English teacher. Yeah.
Technically speaking, I'm not married yet, so I can do whatever I want for
Hey.
a couple months longer. A couple months longer.
Yeah. So his shirt, funny. It's not easy being my fiance's arm candy, but here he is nailing it.
She's
Mind
not
you-
here to, for him to be arm
demonstrate,
candy,
yeah.
but
Mind you, his fiance is like 4'9", or
she's going to murder you for that.
If you don't see me next time, you know
Oh,
why.
She
Off
is
the
at
record.
least 5'2".
At least. Is that what
Definitely.
shoes on? Tippy toeing? What are we
She's
talking?
for
5'2".
sure
She is not
5'2".
Off record, she's 5'2".
Yeah,
That is
totally
what she tells me
5'2".
all the time.
And
That
you're
is
what,
she-
6'3".
6'3". So you can almost imagine the difference. I'm 5'9", 10 on a good day.
If I put on the
5'3".
right shoes
Or
in the
6'3".
morning.
Not
6'3". Well, he's
Going
5'3".
back down to Kim's height. I'm probably 5'3" sitting here.
Yeah.
Seriously, you can be sitting down and sometimes like you're at her shoulder. It's like,
Yeah, wow.
woo.
Yeah. 5'2". 5'3".
Yeah. She tried cleaning 5'5" at one point, I think. So
That's bold.
I'd give her.
Well,
I'd
5'3" is
I'd
bold.
give her 5 foot.
Yeah.
I'd say 5 foot is.
he may not also. Yeah,
I
he
may not
might
be back
here.
for this podcast.
This might just be my podcast from now on. I don't know.
We were just
Wait,
here.
now
the
let's
first...
talk about Joanna for a second.
Oh.
He said,
This
well-
is about to be a single person podcast.
Yeah.
Nah, Kimberly's already got both of y'all taken care of. He called her 4'9".
Oh yes,
Yeah.
that's right.
She won't be seeing this,
She's
right?
got that little person syndrome.
We can edit it out. We can bleep what y'all said.
No, actually, that'd be worse.
She's bleep.
That'd be horrible.
Then I have to confess, like, this is what I actually said.
Just be like, she's bleep, and then whenever she asks us, you can be like, beautiful, talented.
Yeah, I guess so.
Beautiful.
I've never heard bleep in
Like,
a...
why'd you censor it? You thought it was funny.
It made it sound bad, and so like,
Yeah.
it made it interesting for the viewers.
Yeah. Good, but not soft.
There it is again.
That's,
Oh, man.
that's at least 5.
At least 5 or
Probably.
At least 5.
I think you got to say it like, what is it, like 8 times before it really sticks?
something like that. Yeah.
I think so. I think
So I guess this episode's got to keep going. We're at about 20 minutes now, but
Nice.
we might have to go a few more minutes so Ron gets more opportunities. I mean, it's a pretty good good podcast. It's a good podcast.
You're missing out. He wants you to go, but not soft.
Oh, but not soft.
I set you up beautifully, Ron, twice.
Yeah, you can see just. It's kind of like that scene that just went over my head. You know, if you got the reference, you got the reference. Just.
Oh man, well, I think that's probably gonna be it for this first episode. It's gonna be we plan on being a bit longer than this, but this is the first episode. It's just gonna be an introduction, not much of a direction. I don't think the podcast is gonna have a true direction as far as topics. The idea is, like I said at the beginning, kind of just it can go anywhere. Like we love to just talk, and
We are all talkers. That is for sure.
yeah, 100%. So like, ironically, he's the only introvert here, and you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
But so, kind of, it'll just vary what the topics are sometimes. So
Yeah, we love
Stay
to
tuned.
quote unquote talk story in my family.
Yeah.
So
I hate
Someone-
that line so much.
I
someone
love that
I hate
line.
the line
someone
talk
says
story.
a story,
I love that.
and then someone comes back with their story and go back and
It's
forth.
basically
so-
just like just a back and forth rivalry. Not
And-
really
and
rivalry,
it
because we're not
is-
necessarily trying to one up necessarily, but just like
It, yeah,
Just-
no, it's
and
not
we
a
just
competition to
laugh and
see who's
giggle
got the
and-
best story.
it's
It
just
flows.
how long can we keep
Yeah.
this going,
Um,
basically. But it's not even.
And I will
this,
say
like-
it is a competition for the floor, and so
Yeah, that's where the competition's
it
at.
can oftentimes turn into who can talk the loudest.
Well, you know
Yeah.
what? You
and-
want to hand me that right there?
No,
No.
2 pieces.
What? Oh.
Just the one. Just
Oh.
the Yep. Here you go. Here's your talking stick.
Kings
to you.
Kings to you. Ooh,
If you
good
know the reference,
I like
then
it.
if you get it, then you get it.
It's a good movie.
It is a good movie. For any of y'all, oop, I'm gonna hit the mic. For any of y'all who don't know, that is from the movie. Oh, I'm drawing a blank now. I know the movie.
Yeah.
I
yeah.
love the movie.
Come on.
Count
Think
of Monte
about it.
Cristo.
Yes, Count of Monte
Yep.
Cristo.
It's from the movie Count of Monte Cristo.
Good stuff there.
It is a good
Not
movie.
soft.
That's the whole. I mean, that's literally the reason those are over there is because of Napoleon saying, kings and pawns and emperors and fools. And I was setting all this up, and I saw the chess set and the scene from the movie Count of Monte Cristo when he says that made me think of that, and I was like, I want a king and a pawn set up on the set. So that's why those are there. Anyways,
I like it.
I'm gonna give it back to him to see us out.
All right. Thank y'all for watching or listening, however you are tuning into this podcast. We will hopefully see you again shortly with our next podcast. And yeah, that's all I got for y'all.
See ya.
All right, before we go, what's your good advice, Ronald?
My good but not soft advice is to do the small things consistently.